From Canada to the NBA and across the Europe to the Middle East. This is the journey of my teammate Mfiondu kabengele. And today in our episode, we're gonna see the greatness takes time. And I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Let's get it. Hey man, so happy to have you here. Welcome to Step Out Podcast. Man, it's I just saw you during practice. I say I gotta invite him away.
I'm glad
because he likes talk. Let's see if he likes talk also in front of the camera.
Yeah, we'll see.
Welcome, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
How you been? How's everything going? How is the this changing of life from Italy, my country, to here in Dubai, and also because we talked about this like I think a week ago about how crazy is the life that 2 years ago we never thought come here in Dubai and play EuroLeague. Please explain me this, man.
Yeah, so since being here, it's been amazing. The whole Dubai organization has been welcoming, helped me get accustomed, helped me find a place, the car, the city is amazing. I got to see a couple things, the Dubai Mall, the City Walk, Dubai Hills, see a couple things. I'm sure there's a couple things I haven't seen. So it's been great so far, seeing the guys, the talent that we have. It's been great. Just some guys who I'm familiar with, that I played with, guys who I played against, guys who I know of. It's been cool. So I've been enjoying myself. I never thought I'd be here in Dubai. I never thought it was a possibility because it didn't exist until this year. So to see it happen, I'm super happy, super blessed, and excited to make the most of it.
Yeah, because one thing is funny. I was talking with my wife when you signed to Dubai. I was explaining to her the moment that we had during the game again free throw line. And you say, "Where you come from?" From Italy. And you said, "Yeah, but where do you come from?" Okay, from Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. And then you say from Congo. And then you start talking about next year. This is in like 30 seconds.
Crazy. It was long free throws.
Long free throw, yeah. And then you said, I wish next year I'm going to EuroLeague and look now.
Yeah, man, look at God.
It took 2 years.
It took an extra year, but I'm glad it happened.
Man, I'm so happy for that.
Thank you.
And so it's crazy because I really like that have you here, because your career really explain how is from college, from high school to go to the NBA, then go to Greece, right? Greece, then where you play? Italy?
Venice, yeah.
Venice, and then now EuroLeague. So, because a month ago we had 30 and Nate, and they explained the same thing, to the journey to reach the high level, you gotta take time. You gotta take patience. Okay, I understand that you play in NBA, but then after NBA, it takes like some years to reach this level.
You're not lying.
Yeah, and now you got another step to try to stay, because 1 year is not enough.
Never enough.
Yeah, what you think about it?
It's definitely true. When I first came, once I left the NBA, the reason I also left was I was on a tour with Boston. And I had a great time there. Boston is top tier organization, players, staff, everybody. And I had another offer for a two-way, but I just felt my career just going a straight line. It wasn't the same way as previous years where I was steadily making a growth, whether small or big. I'm going sideways rather than going forward. And my agent's like, "What do you think about overseas?" And I was just like, sometimes as a kid, even sometimes as an adult, you're attached to the title of things rather than the doing of things. Okay. So like before I came to Europe, I was really focused on being an NBA player. And then as time went on, I'm like, I want to be a professional basketball player. That's what I wanted to be as a kid. I wanted to play ball as a profession. The NBA was at the time all I saw. Growing up in Canada, I didn't know much about European basketball. All I knew was NBA because I wanted to play professional basketball. So once I kind of got past my ego,
You
I'm
think
like,
it's ego? Sorry
yes,
for interrupt.
definitely ego.
You think?
Yeah, because like, you know, when in the NBA or when you're playing professional, there's a title, there's a sense of entitlement, there's a respect factor across society, friends, family, strangers that look up to you because of what you do. You know, you go to a mall, they're like, well, how tall are you? You say your height. You play in the NBA. And at times you'd be proud, like, yeah, I play for such and such team.
Even if your minutes is
Yes, I played for the Lakers. I like you say with pride because you know what it took for you to get there, so you can't wait to tell somebody. And then I remember when I got cut or when I was overseas or a free agent, people would ask me, like, do you play in the NBA? And I would like shy, but like, nah, not really. I play overseas. And I was a little bit timid because of that, because I associated basketball only with NBA rather than basketball as a worldwide thing. So once I kind of got past that, again, ego kicked in again because I thought, oh, I went from NBA, I'm gonna go straight to EuroLeague because I'm right. No, there's a process. There's dues that need to be paid. You know, one thing I definitely learned, especially coming overseas, a lot of these European teams, they know you're talented, but you haven't proved it at the European level because so many guys from years before have gone from NBA or high level, gone to Europe and didn't pan out because they didn't adjust well. So when my agent told me that, I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, you have to, you know, start, not the lowest level, but start, you know, first stage, which is why I ended up going to Greece and Ike. And that was great because for one, I got the full European experience, you know, different culture because Greece, different language, super passionate about the sport. Smaller market compared to where I came from when I was in Boston. Okay. So the luxuries that I had to adjust, you know, flying charter, food everywhere, fanfare, top tier accommodations. Like that was a big adjustment shift. You know, I come to Greece, I'm sharing a room with another adult.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, what?
We gotta thank COVID. COVID stopped that
yes,
thing, man.
It cut it
After
out.
After COVID, everybody go home room.
Exactly. So dealing with that and then, you know, flying a commercial again. I'm super grateful we're playing across the world. But mind you, I'm 6'10". Yeah. I'm in like 37Z with my knees in my ears, just trying to fly to the next team. Like all those things kind of like humbled me for one, because it let me know like, yo, this is the process. In the time, I didn't know it was the process. But I was, you know, a lot of frustration, like, why am I here? What did I do to deserve this? You start questioning yourself, previous mistakes. What did I miss out on? Did I pick the right team? Did I pick the right agent? Did I pick the right country? You know, is the coach, like all the questions you deal with?
Because in the draft, you was number
27. So yeah, a lot comes with it. So I was in the green room, the whole shebang, suit and gown, mom and dad were there. So like going from there and then coming to Ike, you know, I remember our first practice, where Ike is, there was a mountain there, but there was a fire. And, you know, sometimes in the summertime, they don't have AC all the time, especially in Europe. They time it. So they just let the windows go and let the air filter through the building. And I remember the first day in training camp, there was a fire in the mountain, and because of the wind, it was coming into the arena. So after you put your shoes on, you come to the arena, it's like smoky in there. Guys are coughing. And the coach is like, all right, guys, baseline. I'm like,
what?
There's smoke in here. They're like, no. And then I'll never forget the Greece guys is like, welcome to Europe. And I was just like, wow. So those kind of things, like, it all like it humbled me, and it was a process to everything.
Yeah, because I think because we had this conversation also with Nate, because in America you just see the NBA. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing, but then you start to realize Europe is not that bad.
No, it is not.
It's not that bad
at all. It's amazing.
Yeah. Plus, now I remember this, that you and your agent, you had a great strategy, because you finished NBA and then he said, okay, you can go to EuroLeague, of course. You can play 20 minutes, of course, but you need to grind a little bit. And I think this is a great strategy that I don't think every agent can do it. Mm-hmm. So we gotta also give him flowers.
Shout out to Alex. I definitely didn't see the vision, but now I see it because one, I got to develop and tap into skills I didn't know I had or might have been dormant because of the role. NBA is big man, you know, set screens, roll, catch a lob, dunker. maybe a floater here and there, but you're not dribble handoff. You're not making decisions at the pick and roll. You're not short roll passing. You're not, offside action. So I appreciate Alex for seeing for what I didn't see. So shout out to him.
For real, you didn't see that?
I didn't see that. Like, I'm thinking, I thought coming to Europe, I was going to do more of what I did in the NBA, but, more minutes, bigger scale. But I didn't realize it's a different game. So, there's guys in the paint, different schemes. So the things that I grew accustomed to doing, I had to adjust. And those were the skills that I had that were dormant, began to activate.
Maybe you realize your potential because you went to the lower level and not straight to the EuroLeague.
Exactly, 100%.
Because maybe if you go straight to the EuroLeague, they don't let you do that stuff.
No, the stakes are higher. They need you for a specific role because the coaches are trying to conduct everything.
But now you show for 4 years what you're doing, so nobody can say you nothing.
Yeah.
Like, unless there is a coach that say, hey, I want you that you do one thing, and then it's up to you to sign or not.
Exactly.
So
100%.
I think it's for that.
100%. Like, a lot of those coaches that were, and definitely, like, you kind of go through that as a player, going with coaches that trying to fit a mold. And as a player, you might be naive to think because you think only your way. But as a coach, he's the conductor of everything. He's seeing all the talent he has and he's trying to use it in the best way possible. So let's say you can shoot and you shot 4 threes a game at your previous team and you shot, 35%, which is average at the professional level. But then there's a guy who shoots 47. Although he can't rebound like you, set screens like you, make plays in the paint like you still feel like, oh, I do all these things great. I deserve to shoot too. No, you might have to sacrifice those 3 shots so he can shoot 5 and affect the team. Because without his shooting at a high clip, that's points you're missing out on. And also you can focus on those things and play at a higher level at that role. And a lot of players, even myself, battle with that. So I'm still learning too, especially with this team, all this talent. There's things that I did in Italy that I know that I might have to scale or adjust to depending on what the game provides and scouting. But that's super huge for players to recognize that.
And ego kick in.
Like a monster.
My friend ego.
Yeah.
How you deal with, okay, you say something before about NBA, but how you deal during your career with the ego? Like, especially when in some moments when ego really kick in and you want to do something, but ego say, no, please do that, because you feel good. You feel me?
Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to think, like, ego is a battle I still deal with to this day, although it's much manageable because of the skills I picked on. But the one thing I deal with is trying to think outside myself as well as the big picture. Especially with my faith, I believe that anything that happens for me, especially if I do right and strive for good, is the best thing for me. So once I realize that, that's when my ego kind of settles in, because my ego is it's human preservation, right? It's trying to preserve you and your identity. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. And sometimes the ones that are the most wise let go of that identity. And like, Bruce Lee says, be water. They're flowing. They're not attached to a certain thing. So the one things I deal with especially is isolation and reflection. Sometimes in the midst of things, if I'm in the heat of the battle, I don't feel like I'm as equipped, but sometimes if I have that time alone and then I come back into the battlefield, whether it be practice, game, shoot around, whatever, I'm more equipped. So just thinking back and thinking about everything in its totality, as well as reflecting back on the things that I thought were true that no longer were. Like, for example, when you were also like a kid, you thought as a kid maybe Santa Claus is real. And you thought, oh, when Santa comes, I've been good, now I'm gonna get these things. And then life kicks in and you realize, oh, that's not true at all. And you realize that idea of how you thought Christmas was or how it was gonna be, it kind of shatters and you kind of have to pick up the pieces and have a different kind of thinking. And now you realize, oh, it's my parents that work really hard and do these things. And now you have a different level of appreciation for your parents. And you look at Christmas as more as rather than it's a gift time, a family, a community time. So that process of shattering those previous beliefs and thinking back at those times of when I had those beliefs is how I move forward. So let's say, for example, I'm on a team and I feel like, oh, This is how it should be. And then I look back at times where I thought it was supposed to be that way and when it wasn't, but it was actually the best thing for me, which gives me confidence going to the next situation. Okay,
damn,
I believe that if it worked like that before, it can happen again. Like my favorite book back in the day was The Alchemist. And one of my favorite quotes ever is, anything that happens once will only happen once. Anything that happens twice will happen again. You see what I'm saying?
Damn.
So anything that I felt that happened again in my favor, I'm like, it happened twice, it will happen again. Anything that happened once and only once will only happen once. So I'm not worried about it.
You never know.
You never know, but you have faith in that.
You gotta wait until the last day.
And that's when faith and that's when faith kicks in. And that's when faith kicks in.
Okay.
So when it comes to the ego, I try to be like, okay,
got it.
So many times before I had this ego idea of how things were, and life happened and it kind of shattered that, but it was for the better. So when I go into something different, new team, new scenario, I try to have that same kind of optimism, and that's when kind of faith kicks in.
Wow.
Yeah.
We cannot drop the mic now.
But they call me philosophy now.
Okay. Philosophy what?
They call me philosophy. You see what I did there?
I get it. In Italy we do like this
exactly,
to connect.
Exactly.
Man, I cannot drop the mic now because we are in the half of the episode.
I got you. Yeah.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Thank you.
Really, I love it how you think, and it's rare to find not just a player or professional or athlete, but a human being that think like that, always in a positive way. Because I think this is this word that you spend, it can help a lot of people. Because I think ego is one of the I don't want to say worst thing, but
undefeated.
Yeah, it's undefeated. Yeah,
it comes in every time.
Yes, it comes in every time, and some people they are not able to deal with, So, and you can also see it in the normal conversation.
True.
You talk about your parents, so let's go back.
Go ahead.
Your roots are from Africa, right? From Congo.
My parents were born in Congo, but I was born in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about your roots. Did you ever been there? How they grown you up? Because if you are the man that you are now, we gotta also thank them, no matter what happened. Because I say that a lot of time to some of my people that I know, but I don't like them. I don't like my parents. They did me this. But in the end of the day, you gotta thank them if you are a great man or a great woman right now.
100%.
So tell me about it, man.
Yeah, so born in Toronto, 1997, August 14. I moved to a place called Burlington, which is like a suburb outside of Toronto, about 30 minutes out. My mom, Chilon Kabengele, and my dad, Chiman Kabengele. Great people. The dynamic between them is my dad was more the disciplinarian, more stoic, very stern, because my grandfather, whose also name is Mfiondu, was in the military in Congo, so that's where it kind of, and he's also a lawyer as well, which is why I feel like my dad kind of became the man who he was. And my mom was more of the loving, more gentle, although a little more stern, because African culture is not very lovey-dovey. But they show love through action. It's not like hugs and kisses.
I got it.
So my mom was also the youngest of her family, so I can see how she was very adaptable, reasonable. So the dynamic was great. I had two sisters, and I played football first, the great suburb life, pick
football,
American football, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, let me clarify.
From
exactly,
Italy, so,
exactly. So like it was a good lifestyle, white picket fence, clean grass, good neighborhood. I had great friends, everything I needed. Food on the plate every night, bed. I had things to do outside of school. It was good. Like one of the things I appreciate my dad, or my dad especially, was he always like once, twice a week sat us all down and just asked us to make sure we think about our life. Like where do we want it to head? I was 8, 9 years old. My dad's like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I'd be like, I'll play basketball. So how's that going to happen? Like we actually had a conversation and planned, like made me reflect and kind of told me like, what will it take? Sometimes you have an idea of how you want to do things and you kind of just leave it to the gods and be like, oh, it's just gonna happen. But my dad would kind of tell me like, this is what you need to do, the responsibility, stuff like that, and always kept me accountable. And my mom was always so stern. She was so stable, so solid. Things went bad, I can rely on her. So it was a great, like, one of the things I appreciate the most about my parents is, although they were tough on me, I found out later that tough love was because they know how tough the world is. Like sometimes parents love you so much and they want to protect you from danger, and which they should. But my parents, because of what they went through, coming from Africa, dealing with the trials of over there, Congo, and then immigrating, dealing with immigration, going to a new land in Canada. Not all their friends and family have all immigrated over there, so it was done for a while before uncles and cousins started to come over. Starting a new life, new language. My mom and dad, that wasn't their first language in English. Finding a new job, dealing with new culture. Raising kids
in the 80s, right?
And this was my 80s. They came in the 80s, and then the kids came in the 90s. So dealing with all that, the story they told me, I started to realize later, as a kid, you're like, why are you always on me? Why are you always on me? Like compared to this Jacob's family, they're so nice. I went to his house. They get hot chocolate. Why am I eating fufu? Like I'm trying to ball. But yeah, like as I got older, I realized, especially now that my friends grew and see how some of my friends and classmates panned out, I realized that tough love, that discipline, that protection was like the ultimate love. Same way you look at God, people think, why isn't God giving me $1 million? Why isn't God giving me a wife or a husband? Or why isn't I giving me this job? But sometimes it is for your own protection, which is why you don't have these things.
Maybe you're not ready.
You're not ready. And my parents, sometimes, they know me better than anything. So seeing them being strict and stuff like that, it was tough at the time. But as I got older, now it's so inherent in me that I can go through life as a responsible adult because of the thing they taught me. So shout out to them. I love them a lot.
You drop the mic after drop the mic.
I try.
Yeah, man.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle? Where do you learn this?
I don't know. Life. I always say like the ones we admire the most in this world, whether it be, religious leaders, political leaders, spiritual leaders, war heroes, athletes. You look at their backstory, they went through the most trials and tribulations you can ever think of. You look at Gandhi, the fasting, the attempted assassinations, Martin Luther King, Michael Jordan, all the guys we look up to, we love them. But the thing, like, you ever the thing where it's like, everybody wants what you have, but nobody wants what you went through to get what you have.
Of course, man.
So I feel like,
of course,
that's why I feel like I'm more secure and I am where I am, because what I went through got me to where I was. And at the time when it happened, I wasn't grateful because it was difficult. But looking back, best thing that ever happened.
I agree, because I was reading this book, and it was for a minute. He talked about Nelson Mandela, and I said, 27 years,
innocent. If I was guilty, I'd write the time out.
Yes,
but innocent.
27, and still fight for his rights. That's amazing, man.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see this stuff like this, you feel like, damn, there is a very strong people around the world, and to have the opportunity to have like all this information, like in this era, it's amazing. Like this era is so easy to have, like
it's accessible.
Yeah, everything from internet, from the phone, from the laptop, everything.
No lie.
And so you talk about your parents, you talk about your sisters, and how was the growing up like a teenager, like it was, right before NBA?
It was cool. I took basketball in high school before I went to like prep school and college. Probably relatively seriously. I went to all the practices, but like when it came to the extra work, the 6 a.m.s, the stuff like that, I wasn't really doing that. I'll do it in spurts if I got like motivated. I saw a cool video. I'd be like, okay. Mama mentality.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, but like high school, I was really chill. Like I didn't go out much because again, my parents were really strict.
You were a kid, man.
So like, the house party stuff, I was like in the house, but I was, video games with my friends, basketball tournaments on the weekends. it was a cool life, man. Compared to the stories I've heard, especially like, you go to locker rooms and you meet guys and their back history, you're like, you went through that? Never seen that in my life. You saw that? Never, so like, it was great, super grateful. My parents did a good job of facilitating our lifestyle to put us in a safe environment to where we can learn as well as make mistakes in a safe environment. Some guys live in an environment where like they make a mistake and it can cost them years, family ties, friendships, like everything. But the mistakes I made, maybe late to class, bad assignment,
it's okay.
like it was soft stuff.
It's normal.
Right. So like growing up as a teenager before I went to college, it was super casual, super chill, which is probably why I feel like some people say like, oh, you were overlooked or underrated. No, because there was guys where I came from who made it out and usurped everything. Like, for example, Jamal Murray, who was grew up, he's the same age as me, grew up in the same kind of basketball circle at the time because of how he lived, how him and his dad worked out. Went to Orangeville Prep, 5-star recruit, went to Kentucky, top 10 pick. So like, he was taken extremely seriously. Whereas myself, you can say overlooked, underrated, sure, but I just don't feel like I put enough work to put myself in the forefront. So like, I was a relatively decent ball player, super chill guy, class clown in class, just cracking jokes because like, school was fun, all my friends are there, so it was good. It was a good life before I went to college, and then that's when I started getting serious.
Okay, sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, man, I love how you see the life.
Thank you.
Really, you see the life in every time positive way. That's amazing. I hope you're gonna be like this all your life.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. And and how is the in Canada about like basketball? How is the main thing in Canada? Because I don't know about Canada,
Yeah, Canada basketball, it's up and coming, especially with the new talent coming on, starting off with Steve Nash, Andrew Wiggins, Tristan Thompson, Corey Joseph, obviously Shea, Jamal, the prep schools that came in. But it's a hockey country, I'll admit. Hockey is supreme when it comes to the players, the infrastructure, the coaching, the accessibility. Canada's cold, snowing 6 months out of the year, so that's perfect time for hockey. So when it comes to basketball in Canada, it's up and coming, it's growing, obviously with the Raptors in town, and then win the championship in 2019, 2020, I believe, with Kawhi. Thanks again, Kawhi. That was amazing. But like, it's definitely up and coming. I think it's right now, if I were to guess on like market value and popularity, it's probably second to hockey right now. So
got it. Did you ever dream to play for Toronto?
No, I ain't gonna lie. You know why? Because I remember my uncle, when he would come in town, I just remember how much...
Who's your uncle?
Oh, my uncle is Dikembe Mutombo. Shout out to my mans. I just remember how much commotion there was. Like, I remember after school, I'd have to fly down to Toronto, get there before he left for the arena. All the uncles and cousins are in the lobby. My uncle's like, politicking, saying hello to everybody. And they have to go play a game. And then after the game, it was dinner. And obviously as a kid, I wasn't thinking like that. But as an adult, I'm just like, or teenager, it's too much. And then obviously had friends and stuff. And I'm like, it sounded cool, but I was especially how I grew up, I never really I always dreamed about seeing more of the world. So if I were to play basketball, I'd want to go somewhere outside of my environment. So the Raptors was never my dream team.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And tell me about some story about your uncle. If you got some.
There's too many.
Just two.
Okay, the one that we talked about before was my uncle is extremely known for his deep voice. They call him the Cookie Monster.
Really?
Yeah, it's very. So I remember as a kid being terrified of him because imagine you're a kid, you're 5-6 years old. That means you're probably 4'5", tiny. And now this 7'2" guy is saying, "Hey, come here," and you're like terrified, but you know he's your uncle. But it's just the voice, the stature. I used to run away and be hide behind my mom's leg because it's but he was super loving, super giving, and also some things that that always made me laugh about him. He would talk very slowly. Like when he talked, you thought
Slow-mo?
you thought like when he spoke, you thought it was your time to speak. So if you say, "Hey, Uncle, how you doing?" He'd be like, "I'm doing good." Well, how's the weather? Well, and he would continue on, like, and he kind of play on with that. And he's a jokester, like he obviously was professional, and what he had to do is very serious. But like he's always light to be around. We go to the mall, we'll take a shopping, go to restaurants. And they'd be like, "Yo, Matumbo." He'd be like, "That's not me. I'm his brother." You know, like, and just keep walking. And I just,
No way, that's not true.
Like he's
That's true.
He's funny, man. Like he's funny. Or like for example, sometimes we'll be walking throughout the mall, right? And we're trolling him, and people connect the dots. We're in Atlanta or wherever team's playing for, and I see it now with streamers. He would walk, right? But like, Matoma, can I take a photo? He's like, "Walk with me, we'll take the photo." And he'd be walking with them, take the photo, and continue his stride. Like nothing was breaking his stride. So like those are the two things I remember, like him being so like lighthearted and funny and that deep voice. And obviously his big heart, but that's well documented.
And you still in touch with his
family? For sure. Like they're my first cousins. So my uncle is my mom's their brother and sister. So like super close. And my uncle did a good job growing up facilitating, family events, whether it be Christmases, birthdays, summers. So like even growing up, I was always seeing my cousins once, twice a year. So it wasn't like a distant relative.
Yeah, okay.
So it was great.
Nice. So when you make it to the NBA, how was his how was it?
It was crazy.
He
He was more than happy because he's like, he said he's like, "Now they're gonna start asking you for money." So like, he was super happy though, super proud.
Nice.
He knows like, although he's my uncle, my last name is kabengele, and he knows that I did it off, obviously through God, but through my strength. It wasn't like, him.
Because of him.
And obviously I'm sure he spoke highly of me when people asked me like how I was, which I appreciate. But he was super proud that I did it,
By
the
yourself.
hard way, the long way. So it was cool, man. Super happy.
Damn, that's an amazing story. Amazing. And what I have to tell you. So basically, you play for Cleveland?
My first stint was the Los Angeles Clippers.
Okay.
For a year and a half, got traded to Cleveland. I was in Cleveland for the remainder of the year, so that's 2 years now. So I was in Cleveland for half a year.
Okay.
After I got traded by the trade deadline. And then after I got cut by the end, I went straight to the G League with RGV. So that's Houston Rockets G League affiliate.
Okay.
And that was, I still take to this day, like one of my funnest years as a professional.
Why
athlete.
you say that?
Because one, our coach is amazing. And two, the personnel.
Who was it?
Mahmoud. He was great guy. He's one of the guys that introduced me to Islam, but he was great. And then the personnel guys, such a fun team. Like one of the guys we have now, he's actually a rapper now. He's on Lil Yachty's music label. His name is Honest. One of the funniest teammates I ever had. And we won in like a dominant fashion. We were super close. Every practice was like, "What we doing tonight?" Going out, getting lunches, dinners together, hanging
Always
out.
together, like a high school team.
It was amazing because it was G League, so like it wasn't like we're making big money and we're like in a foreign land, so not everybody had their own circle with them. So all we had was each other. And we won the championship, and those guys still, sometimes I see him in passing, like Anthony Lamb. He was on Trento last year, he was on my team.
Yep.
Marcus Foster was on my team, Christian Vitale was on my team. So much talent. Deshaun Nix, who he's in the NBA still, but so much talent on that team. We won. It was just, and then after RGV, I got invited to Boston Celtics Summer League team. I played amazing during that Summer League stretch, which earned me a two-way. So I was in Boston going into my fourth year. So that third year, I was just in Houston RGV, fourth year Boston. And then after those 4 years in Boston, I jumped upon and came overseas. Yeah.
And beside our JV, what was the best experience in NBA?
There was three. One, scoring my first point. That was great because Pat Bev did a great job of getting the game ball for me. Got it for me, and I held it. I'm like, wow, this is like, the same first bucket that MJ scored, Kobe scored, Shaq, like everyone got their first bucket, and I got my first bucket. Like I'm in the books. Like when they say 2 points, kabengele, like it's gonna be there forever. And then My first time hopping on the team plane and seeing, the guys on the plane talking, and then they talk about just the vibe of being around pros. That was awesome. Seeing like the superstars, like seeing Kawhi for the first time, PG, and like before when you first meet them, you have you're a player, but you're still kind of in awe of them. And then as time goes on, they become your acquaintances, friends, and your peers. But just seeing those guys and seeing like, yo, these are just regular dudes. They just work their butt off. And then finally, my third one probably would be, man. Oh man, that's a good one. Probably the playoffs. I was on a tour of Boston seeing the playoff run that they had.
Which year?
This was my 4th year with Boston.
No, I know, but
2022, 23.
Okay, so it was like final?
Yeah, conference finals.
Conference finals.
Seeing the intensity, seeing the preparation for it. It's different in regular season. People say playoff and regular season is different. 100%. Like how dialed in guys were. Like just seeing, can you think, one thing I always laugh sometimes when my friends be like, yo, how good is such and such? I'm like, he's so good, it becomes kind of boring. Like, I remember seeing Kawhi Leonard shooting like, it felt like 1,000 pull-ups going one way. And then one game he had like 40-some points. Everyone's going crazy, but I wasn't, because I saw him shoot 1,000 of them. Like that same shot, the same look, I saw it already. The only difference was there's a crowd, there's referees. So like, you don't see you lose the awe of players, but you begin to respect it because it's like, oh, this is not an accident. Anybody that's good in any profession is not an accident. Only accidents are lottery ticket winners. Everyone else, super talented.
What about what's the name? The guy that blew out in New York Knicks, Jeremy Lin.
Oh,
you think it's an accident?
No, impossible. All the work he did leading up to that moment, the preparation, also the mental fortitude, because some guys are super talented and the mental's just not there to handle the stress of being on a 10-day contract. We have 10 days to make it shake. All the preparation led to that. And obviously, God puts his hand in there to make it work the most. So like, I feel like any kind of success, although there's small stretches, but like over a course of a season or a course of a couple games, you have to respect the player, because I don't believe it's luck. I've seen it too many times. When I was in Team Canada last summer, preparing for the Olympics, I remember seeing Shea, this was the year before, and won the championship, every day doing extra lifts, every day beating everybody to the gym. By the time we got there before practice, he's ready in a sweat, shooting shots, mid-range, pick and roll, doing extra lifts on the side. When we land at wherever we land, he's going straight to the gym or weight room. Like, and then I see him win a championship, and I'm just like everyone's like, wow, but I'm just like, duh.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like,
because people, they don't know behind the scenes.
No.
And I think it's good that they don't know.
Yeah, it's
everything.
best. It's best, because if you knew what it really took, you would have a lot more respect for certain guys, and you wouldn't say the things you say. Sometimes I look at these sportscasters and stuff like that, I'm just like, if only you knew. Like, if you really knew, that's why I feel like when I see sometimes, like, players sometimes have these podcasts, and they speak sometimes ill will of certain players, I'm like, you know what it takes. You know what is happening. You know the dynamic of being a franchise guy, a bench warmer, a 10-day, a free agent, a max guy. You know the kind of the dynamics of it. So like, when you see it, it's like, wow. Like, it's, one, you feel enticed to see if you are capable of doing it. And two is like, what, because it's not just in one day. Like, what did you do to build it? And sometimes they say the cliche, which is true, it's literally day by day.
Man,
it's literally day by day.
And what did you have? This thing that you put in work and you start to see like the result? Did you have that?
And that's where I thought it was. I thought the inclination to do more work came from the result. But the players I've talked to, Kawhi, Shea, PG, Jason Tatum, the result is irrelevant. It's the practice of it.
Keep going.
Routine. Just do it just to do it, because even Kobe said it, like the goal is not the ending, it's the journey. Like, the process of being great is the great part. The result is just what it is.
You already finished.
It's written for you, so you don't got to worry about that. So like, because for example, people get so caught up in the result, but I can tell you right now, and you can say the same thing. There's been times in my basketball career that I've won games that I shouldn't have won,
Facts.
and lost games that I shouldn't have lost, and played well when I shouldn't have played well, and played bad when I shouldn't have played bad. So many, like, so the ending of result, it means absolutely nothing. But the times where I felt the most at peace, the most confident is when I had a great summer. I was locked in, or before the game, I was in bed, ate well breakfast, stretched. I did all the things that
to make you get better.
Bit better. And then when the game happened, I'm like, oh, this is nice. It wasn't like, oh, this is why I did
because sometimes what happened in the game, you do things that you didn't even thought about it, like, okay, I'm doing this shot. Damn, you go in?
Yeah.
You know, because of practice, because your body, because your head put in. Man, it's amazing.
It's true.
It's a long story about this.
For sure.
And because we don't have so much time, let's talk about your transition that you became a Muslim. And I think it's rare to hear this, and I'm so happy to knew about this because you say to me in the locker room like nothing, but for me it was like, damn, this guy he find out. And why you decide to do that? To become a Muslim?
Yeah, so again, I had my first hint of Islam because my cousin on my mom's side, they're all Muslim. So sometimes when I go to my cousin growing up, I'll see them. Like if I hang out with them, they just disappear for a second, and I couldn't find them, and I'll see them praying. I'm like, yo, and he flat out ignore me. I'm like, what is it? So I'll go by my dad. I'm a kid, I understand. And then you grow up. And then Mahmoud, who was my first Muslim coach, he was our head coach at RGV, we won the championship. He invited us to his house, showed us how he was living. You know, he was a man of character and conduct. Like, he didn't mess around. He's really disciplined, really strict, you know, stuff like that. And he kind of hinted at Islam. Like, he always said, like, God bless, mashallah, like words like that.
Always in every word.
Everything. Subhanallah. Like, if someone came late to practice, he'd be like, Subhanallah. And I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
So positive. And then Islam came to me, strangely enough, when I was in Portland, Maine, when I was with the Boston G League team. And I was kind of going through it. You know, I was sent down for a while. I didn't get called up for Boston. It wasn't like Boston needed me. They were like #1 seed in the East. So I was like, dang, like I felt, you know, staggered. And we played my old team, RGV team, in Portland, Maine. We wanted to get them. We won that game. And I remember being so amped and so vindicated that when, you know, my last sub came in, I just came straight to the bench. I didn't tap everybody's hand. I was just like so happy that I got my lick back. And we won. I was super happy. And then one of the players is like, yo, Fee, man, like, you're supposed to be one of the leaders on the team, but how can you just shake her hand? Like, you know you wanted to win the game, but like we wanted to be out there with you too. Like, and I was like, huh? And literally that just started it because a part of me was like, what am I even doing this for? I just won the game. I beat my old team. I played well, but my teammates aren't happy with how I finished the game. And I'm unhappy because they're unhappy because I actually like these guys. Like all these questions start circulating. God. And then again, it's like, what am I doing this for? I'm sent down for so long. What is this all for? And then, you know, you go on your phone to, you know, escape a little bit. You go Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and then the algorithm kicks in. And I saw Islamic thing. I'm just like, there's very a lot of passion in this speaker. And I'm just like, I don't want that. I want the truth. So I went to Amazon, ordered a Quran, and I'm like, I don't want nobody to talk to me. I want to, if this is the truth, you gonna show me. I'm gonna read it. I read it front to back. It took me about 4 days. And if you know the Quran, it's not like a regular book. It's like,
no, it's not.
The plot is scattered. There's the constant reminders. There's little gems here. There's like, and I'm just like, wow. And remember, after I finished it, I'm like, I have to take my Shahada now. And so we go to practice. All I'm thinking about is taking my Shahada. Practice ends. I find the nearest mosque. I go take my Shahada, right? There's a lot of Somalians there. So when I go take the Shahada, before I take my Shahada, Sheikh brings me to his office and breaks it down like, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, yeah, I read the Quran. I want to become Muslim. He kind of gave me the rundown of what it takes to be a Muslim, the prayers, the fasting. He gave me all the pillars of Islam, all the things we believe in. And I'm okay, God, let's do it. And I remember he told me, I'm going to say it to you in Arabic and I'm going to say it to you in English so you understand. So we take the shahada, ashhadu anna, all the whole thing. And then, I don't know why I thought this. So after I take my shahada, I thought I would feel something. Like I get some powers or something.
Okay.
So after I did it, he smiled at me and I had my eyes closed. I was just like, oh, that's it? So it was funny. And then we go pray together. He showed me how to pray. And I just felt light. I remember I just felt so light. I'll never forget, February 11th, 2023. I remember feeling so light. I told all my family, my friends, I'm Muslim now, And you know, you become Muslim, you go all the way. I grew a beard out, you start everything. So yeah, I became Muslim ever since then. And it's been a practice. It's been a great practice, which I appreciate. And
you're lucky that you are in Dubai. So
yeah, it makes it very easy.
You don't have excuses to.
And that's what God brought me here. You see what I'm saying? Like all the things I went through.
Alhamdulillah, man.
Now I'm here right by Mecca, right by Medina.
This is one of the reasons I decided to play in Dubai.
Also really?
Because it's a Muslim country and so it's perfect to go to mosque every day.
Amazing.
Like I have a mosque like in 3 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Take the car, go. Pray.
I remember one time even by our hotel by the arena, there's the mosque there. And I'm sleeping and I forget to set my alarm. All I hear is the adhan and I'm just like, you wake up, it's like, wow.
Just go.
Right there. It makes it very easy for you. So alhamdulillah, man. I'm thankful.
Man, amazing, man. Congrats.
Thank you, brother.
You special.
All right, I try, man. I try.
Peace.
Peace.